staggering figures coming out in relation to the coronavirus. In India, the number of cases now stands at more than 1.
As nations across the globe declared lockdowns in the wake of COVID-19, home was seen as a safe refuge. But has it really been safe? As per a UN report titled From Insight to Action, nearly 243 million women and girls between the age of 15 to 49 years were subjected to sexual and physical intimate partner violence in the year 2020. This alarming increase in domestic violence has been termed as the shadow pandemic. In India, where every third woman faces some form of domestic violence, the story was not any different. The National Commission of Women received 13,410 complaints of crimes against women between March to September 2020. Out of this, 4,350 cases were of domestic violence alone. As per a paper published by National Bureau of Economic Research, the domestic violence complaints in the red zone district were 131% higher than green zone districts with fewer restrictions. As per Ministry of Women and Child Development, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Bihar and Maharashtra were the top 5 states with maximum number of gender violence complaints.
Hello everyone. This time we are focusing on the conditionalities and the environment that we have provided the women of the society, especially focusing at India. I remember the words of late Shri Mahatma Gandhi, and Bapuji once during his discourse said that the society of tomorrow will be known by the manner and the way in which they treat the women of the society. India has seen phenomenal increase in the violence against women in the last 8 to 10 months, especially in the lockdown and the post-lockdown phase. My observation in this regard is that we as a community need to come together to ensure that the fairer gender gets what it deserves. My personal belief is the fact that in a day-to-day environment, we should know how to respect women and we should know how to treat them as equals and not give them extra attention with respect to discrimination. I think they don't require extra attention. They just require us to be ourselves, and they require the entire environment around them to make them feel a bit safer, which I think should be our foremost duty. I also want to lay stress on the fact that financial independence plays a very, very important role. I must take this opportunity to congratulate the administration of the day that when they were launching the Ujjwala scheme or they were launching the financial inclusion schemes, they kept a very clear method of empowering women at the back of their head while designing these strategies. I think the corporate social responsibility portfolio also of various corporations do take this into consideration, because it's a strong belief that if we do not financially empower the woman, then talking of any peripheral empowerment is not going to sustain itself. And last but not the least, I think advocacy and awareness is the need of the hour. I think the data of post-COVID scenario tells us that any amount of advocacy and awareness that we carry out in today's world even, although it's a matter of shame I must say, is less. Because we need to focus primarily at fortitudes. For example, maximum domestic violence records don't come into the highlight because it happens within the family. And this is something that we have known for ages now. But the question is, what as a society are we ready to do for it? I think it's time when you and I need to join hands together. Institutions need to make their workplaces much more safer for women, much more comfortable for women to work through. And I think together as a community, if we join hands and we decide that we're going to stand against this and create an environment conducive enough for the women of the society to survive, prosper, and get empowered, then nothing can stop us.